Dice Paper Roll is made on the lands of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land.
You walk through these mists at your own risk. They will lead you elsewhere, into a realm of suffering. Beyond lies the domain of the vampire, Strahd von Zarovich. Even death will not release you from the torment that awaits you there. For nothing leaves Barovia. Not even your eternal soul. Beyond the mists, darkness envelops Barovia. The ever-present fog lays thick and close to the ground. It clings and envelops as if trying to smother the land. Lake Zarovich sits, still. Barely a ripple passes across its surface. Even the soft breeze that stirs across the dying embers of the campfire is unable to move the clinging blanket of fog. But it does rock the boats tied to the shore, and the water laps against their sides in a rhythmic slapping. Loud, soft, soft. Soft, loud, loud, soft. Soft, loud, soft. A rhythmic sound that spells out, in Morse code, DPR. Curse of Strahd.
I'm like, where is he?
Frau.
Where is he going?
Where's he
with
going?
This?
Yeah,
Where is
yeah.
he going with this?
Telegram operators out there.
There'll be at least one 76-year-old guy that gets that. He's like, fuck yeah.
That's for him.
No, he'll be going, it's actually soft. Loud, soft.
Actually.
No, it's actually correct. I went and looked up the Morse code. So
I know you did.
I would only expect you to have that kind of thorough research.
Really,
Great.
really hitting the demographic
Thorough.
of our listeners.
Preparation. That's your middle name.
These are the standards we like to hold ourselves to at Dice Paper Roll, and you are welcome because we are here. It's Dice Paper Roll, Curse of Strahd, episode 17. My name is Emil Freund. I play Sonny Bono, the sword, the sentient sword. Although the rest of the party, sans Hans, don't know that yet.
Sans Hans. I really like that, actually.
It's got a nice ring to
I
it.
like it.
It's got a nice ring to it. Hans. That's good.
It took me that long
Nice
to,
one, Benny.
to get that.
Oh, now I get it.
And my name's Dan. I play Sans Hans, the human. Oh no, what am I? I'm a half orc blood hunter, leather daddy,
What's the other half?
human.
Oh.
Yeah, vanilla.
Half orc, half human, all sexy.
Yes, had been in communique with the Sunny Sword. However, at the end of the last episode, it may no longer be in my grasp. In fact, it's not. It's not. But, yeah. Ooh.
Freak the Kid didn't perform the old switcheroo and put like a little, like a leak in place of the sword.
Like a Mars bar.
Mars bar.
Yes.
It's a Lars bar in this universe.
A Hans bar.
Hans bar.
Oh, I love these things. Too much chocolate.
The Hans bar is always in my hand.
Don't make me run. I'm full of chocolate.
And I'm Jack, and I'm playing Louise, who is a fish woman of the sea.
A Triton.
Yeah, Triton. I just don't know if I'm comfortable with calling it, putting labels on it.
Fair enough.
Is that because Triton is also the name of a popular brand of tools?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't like to be defined by capital.
Speaking of popular tools, I think it's your turn to introduce yourself, Ben.
Hey, everybody. I am Ben Clements, the most popular tool on this podcast.
That's true.
And I play a character named Ragyog, the goblin cleric of Lathander. And Ragyog is just happy to have some new friends. Well, in Louise. Fuck Sonny Bono.
You don't know nothing
Well, he
about
doesn't
Sonny
know.
Bono just yet, man.
I know. I'm just passively aggressively hitting out at Emil for that amazing call.
I think it's ironic that he actually literally plays a tool on the podcast.
It's a shame I didn't think of that at the time.
My name is Lauren Bock, and I play Apomia Phosphine, but you can call me Mo. She is a human, vanilla, rogue, assassin, currently sleeping nicely with her mates around her, having made new mates. She loves mates, loves tricks, loves japes of all kinds, but does not know that this is the worst kind of jape, which is a small child with a weapon.
Well, she's been to Rainbow Serpent. She knows that wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
No,
It's a
it is
bad
not
idea.
okay.
It's very clear. No
Let the kids
children
run wild
and no
to a-
children with weapons.
To a degree.
Yeah, that's just not. I mean, poise great. It could be a weapon in the wrong hands, but
Fire twirling.
depends.
And often is. My name is Greg Pickering. I am the Dungeon Master for DPR Does Curse of Strahd. I'll be playing almost everybody else, and we're coming back into what was a pretty tense moment at the end of the last episode, where Reek, the orphan boy, had taken the flaming.
Freak. He was called Freak.
Yeah, Freak.
I've been reading Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
He's holding the sausage aloft.
Hans wakes up and is like,
You've got the Hans bar. So Freak is holding the flaming sword aloft above the sleeping form of Hans. So obviously you want to know what happened there, but because I'm just the best DM, I'm not going to deal with that right now.
What way to leave us hanging?
That is your choice. That's your
I just
prerogative.
want to. And for listeners, you've been waiting a week. Well, you can wait a little bit longer. So I'd just like everyone except Lauren to take your headphones off until I give you a wave, please.
Fucking, what are you doing to me?
I love this.
So everyone take your headphones off,
All right.
please.
Sitting their favorite.
I might have to keep my face really neutral.
So I just want to give you a little bit of information about Ireena before we get into the game.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Maybe I should write this down.
Oh, I'll send it to you as
Okay,
well.
thank you.
But it's a bit of a block of text. So Ireena is not the true-born daughter of Kolyan Indirovich, the former burgomaster of Barovia.
Yep.
So she's the adopted daughter. After his wife died, Kolyan had taken to wandering the woods at night, and many in the township said that they thought he was seeking his death. So he was very depressed and wandering the woods at night. And that is where he found Ireena. And he found her bruised and battered and wearing torn and scorched clothing. And she was very, very young. From there, he took her in and raised her as his own. And many of the townsfolk said that caring for her was the only thing that helped the burgomaster get over his wife's death. Now, Ireena can't remember anything before the night that the burgomaster found her.
Yep.
when she tries to think about it, her mind is clouded. And whenever she tries to remember, she gets a splitting headache.
Okay.
It's as if the time before that is fuzzy in her mind. And she's never felt that sort of presence in her mind, except for recently when the vampire Strahd charmed her. Now, the first time Strahd came for her, he caught her in the street as she was headed home from the market. And with nowhere to hide, he was quickly able to take over her mind and feed on her. But from that point, she was terrified and hid in the house. And the burgomaster and her brother helped to protect her. But it seemed that this was not enough, because night after night, Strahd and his minions would assault the house. Now, the second time that Strahd fed on her, Ireena cannot remember that, because that night, the night of which she has no memory, is the night that the burgomaster died.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when was she? How old was she when the burgomaster found her?
6 years old.
Okay. Yep.
So when Ismark had returned that night to find his father dead and Ireena unconscious on the floor, he nursed her back to health and had never said an ill word against her. But Ireena knew him far too well. She could sense his resentment and his simmering anger at what had happened. Ireena knows why Ismark, or you know why Ismark sent you to Valakai. It's not just for your safety, but it's for his own peace of mind about what happened. He somewhat blames you for the death of his father.
Yep.
So now, as you finally approach the town of Valakai, pursued by an impossibly powerful creature, you realize that you are fully alone in the world once more.
So Ismark sent Ireena to Valakai to kind of get her away from him. He's worried for his safety, like that.
It's not that he was worried. He's just, I think Ireena senses that he's angry.
Okay.
He's angry about what's happened because she'd been locked in the house, and Strahd was unable to get to her, and the house had been assaulted night after night. And one night, Ismark stayed out drinking, and when he came home, that was when he found Ireena unconscious on the ground and his father dead.
Okay.
And Ireena feels that he blames her for that.
Yep.
But as well, Ireena cannot remember anything from that night as well. And it's that same fuzzy feeling that she had from when she was a child.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Great.
Sounds good. Do you
All
need
right.
to send me that just as well?
Yes. Okay. Let's bring everyone back in.
Sure.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
What you don't know is I'm a master lip reader.
And that is how we defeat Strahd. Okay, great. Got it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And that's the proper use of a good D&D tool.
It's all right. I've actually been editing for so long. It's like lip reading. I could read the sound waves on Zencaster.
Wow.
It actually comes out in Morse code on Zencaster.
Yeah.
And the good thing is Ben's
was
the only
cool.
one that's going to hear it because he's going to edit it, and none of the rest of us are going to listen to it. So cool.
I mean, it's a pretty good tool in that
Yeah.
sense.
It's really
really
good.
good.
It's really good.
I am the
Okay,
tool of the podcast.
So night lies heavy over the camp as you sleep, and as Freak creeps over to steal the sword that Hans has recently got. But as he creeps across the camp, Ireena dreams. The sound of rocking boats and the lapping of water against their sides fills her mind. In the dreams, she runs down a never-ending hallway. Fog covers the ground and obscures her steps. However hard she runs, Strahd is always close behind, his breath hot on her neck. She runs and runs. The hall ahead of her shrinks down and is suddenly a dead end. There is nowhere to run. She turns and presses herself against the wall as the spectre of Strahd advances on her. She reaches out and slams a door, cutting him off, but he's at the window. His eyes blaze with hunger as he looks deep, deep into Ireena's eyes. And as he does, she feels her will slip from her body. Helpless, her hand reaches for the door latch. Suddenly, Ireena's eyes flutter open to look at the small wood-panelled room around her, the dining room of her house. Her father, the burgomaster in Dirovich, lies dead on the ground, his face a grimace, his clutching his chest. The figure of Strahd stands over him. Strahd looks down at Ireena for a long time. She lays on the ground, halfway to a crouch, frozen in fear and weak with terror. Suddenly, he transforms into a grey mist and swirls out the window. And as he does, Ireena scrabbles over to the body of her father to find him cold. And as she reaches out to touch his face, she feels the slick of hot blood run down her neck. She looks down, and the blood runs from a bite mark. It runs and flows and grows stronger. Suddenly, it is roaring in her ears as the blood begins to run down the walls of the room. It grows stronger and stronger, and then begins to run clear and cold and dark. Dark water fills the room, and as she lays down, the icy water engulfs her form, her face, her breath, submerging her. She sits up, gasping, breath filling her lungs. But she is small, a child, and in a small boat. Cold, stale water fills the bottom of the boat around her feet. She is cold, and she is wet. But most of all, Ireena is afraid. The figure of a boy stands in the shallows, holding the duckboard. Tears run down his face as he bids her goodbye. Flee, sister. I will be close behind. With a sob, he pushes the leaking boat out into the lake, and as the mist begins to obscure his shape, dark figures pounce out of the night. Flashing jaws clamp on the boy, and the world is filled with screams. Screams that fill Ireena's head. And suddenly, there is a ringing sound, as if a glass has been struck with a knife. Ireena wakes the camp with a scream. Okay. So everyone awakes to Ireena screaming. As Ireena screams, Freak lifts the flaming sword in the air, and bright sunlight pierces the thick fog that covers the camp. The area is illuminated, and long shadows are cast in all directions.
Sonny talks directly to Freak. Hey,
Okay.
buddy, what's the end game here?
I don't want to be weak anymore.
Oh.
I'm strong now. I have the sword. As he grips the sword, the muscles on Freak's 12-year-old arms bulge and flex, and the veins grow thick and strong, and he looks super ripped for a 12-year-old.
This is weird.
I know it feels tempting to use a weapon to protect yourself, but I tell you what, someone bigger than you is going to see me with you, and they're going to want to take me away. You're actually in far more danger.
No, nobody's going to be able to hurt me as long as I've got this.
Nah, seriously, bro, you're going to get hurt real bad. Real
He
bad.
holds the sword out in front of him and starts to back away towards the forest.
You know, when I first got myself a blade, being on a 3-year coke bender, and I tell you, I never saw my damn dog again. It's a mistake.
I had to eat my dog. I was so hungry.
Right, you get it. You've tried cocaine too, I see.
Okay, what's everyone else doing as this happens?
Ragyog sits up, bolt upright. Sorry, Jack.
That's right.
Sits bolt upright. What? It's not meant to be daylight yet? I'm sure I haven't had 8 hours sleep. And rubs all the sleep out of his face as he pats around looking for his weapon and pops his skull cap on his head and trying to figure out where the sunlight's coming from, just registering what's going on. Looking around.
Louise sits up bolt upright and sea cucumbers slide off the front of her.
Slices of sea cucumber?
Yeah,
or
slices
actual-
of sea cucumber fall off the front of her visor, and she reaches for the hammer and sickle on her chest and pulls them out, looking around prepared.
Mo flicks one eye very quickly open but stays completely still to not distract the boy. She immediately takes in the scene and sees him backing away towards the forest. He sees everyone else roused, but she lies still, but her hand sneaks into her one of her purpley piratey coats, just double tapping her daggers, but you can see everyone else is a little bit prepared, but she stays really still, but is completely alert and ready to pounce on that boy.
Hans' eyes snap open and he rolls over and quickly clutches his, makes a fist with his right hand, expecting the sword in his hand, but then the softened chocolate of the Hans bar squishes in his hand. What? This isn't right. This is, and blinded by the light, reaches the chocolate towards the boy after hearing him say about how hungry he has been. Would you like a chocolate?
I've never tried chocolate. He waves the sword in front of him,
Oh, okay.
warding off as
Bro,
he
you
backs
gotta try
away.
it. It's the best.
Chocolate! Nothing tastes as good as safety feels.
Freak.
If you've never tried chocolate, I gotta pull you up on that. You're actually not qualified to answer. You gotta try it before you can say that.
Who said that?
Freak.
Said
Freak,
that?
I know. It's strange, but the sword is speaking to you. I know this. That sword actually belongs to me, so it's not right that you should take something that doesn't belong to you. We can protect you.
No, it's mine. It's mine now. And as he backs away, the light that the sword emits is centered on him, and he backs towards the trees that surround the camp behind him. And as he does, they cast long, stark shadows deeper into the forest that crisscross. And you can't really see much further in behind him. And suddenly, a figure steps from behind the bole of a nearby tree.
Oh no.
A tall, well-built, handsome
Drink of water.
figure wearing a long, well-tailored red coat, and lays a hand with manicured, sharp fingernails on the shoulder of the boy.
Fuck's sake.
Is he he wearing blue suede shoes?
Hans sees the figure of Strahd.
Now, my boy. That is a dangerous thing you hold.
You let him go. And I cast protection from evil on Freak.
Okay. As you start to cast the spell, what level is that? It's level 1.
Yeah, it's level 1.
He holds up his hand and waves it at you. No. And counterspells the spell as it leaves your lips.
Well, no to you
He then
too.
Ragyog. Can Ragyog have a go? Ragyog finally makes out what's going on and calls upon
Finally gets all the rest,
power.
all the sleep out of his
All the sleep out of his eye, like he's rubbing with the fist, like, oh
Louise
God.
hands him a sea cucumber.
Oh,
Just
thank you. Oh, that's much more refreshing. Oh, geez, I have to take care of this, and casts daylight right at Strahd's head, or at the red coated figure's head. Back with you, you foul beast! Let the little freak go.
Okay, the sword is emitting daylight already around him, and as you look closer, you can see little wisps of smoke are lifting from Strahd's face, and this like the skin around the edges of his hair is burning and sort of moving like the burn is moving back and then healing as it burns. So it's just sort of maintaining this equilibrium. And you cast daylight and it shines around him, like laying over the top of the light of the sword as he picks up Freak with one hand and lifts him up in front of him. And you see Freak tremoring, shaking, the sword hanging in his hand as he's lifted up in front of Strahd.
You know, there was a tale I learned when I was on tour of a place called Down Under back in the day about a little marsupial who fought for what was right and saved the forest. His name was Blinky Bill. He did what was right and drove the darkness away, much like you will. Come on, Freak. We're in this together.
As he holds Freak up, Freak is just water. He's rubber. He's not able to really hold the sword. And suddenly he cocks his ear as if he's listening to something. And he stops shaking. And his grip firms on the blade. And he lifts it up.
His body becomes taut like a bowstring and then snaps, much like a released bowstring. And as he strikes out at Strahd with his sword, with the sun sword. Oh boy. One moment. That is a 14 to hit Strahd.
He strikes, so Freak strikes out with the sun sword at Strahd, but Strahd sees the blade coming and he throws Freak back towards the center of the camp, and Freak lands heavily near the fire.
Mo is still lying down and is pretending to be asleep, but Mo has met Strahd several times, so she's quite aware that he is very tuned into everyone around him. So she doesn't have to do much. She doesn't have to stand up and like display herself in any way or like pull her daggers out. So she just lies really quietly and just says in a low voice, and she's going to use intimidation. And she just says, "All right, Strahd. It's just a little kid. Just put him down and get on your way. I'm sure you got bigger fish to fry."
wait, but
You're right, Mo. I do have bigger fish to fry.
23 for intimidation.
where is your solidarity? But
Sorry, mate. It's just a turn of phrase, for crying out loud.
I do have bigger fish to fry, Mo.
But not this
And
fish.
you are that fish. He waves his hand again and dispels the daylight spell that sits on him. And as it flickers away, the light cast by the sword, only the edge of it reaches him. And as you see him stand on the edge of the firelight, you see those burn marks very quickly heal. You're right, Mo. I'm here because you failed to come through on our deal.
What?
And now
Deal?
I've come to collect the prize that you promised me.
What are you talking about, Bo?
What have you done?
Freak looks to Mo and shakes his head. Starts, how could you, Mo? How could you? The kid you just met.
What? Excuse me. What deal are you talking about, Strahd? What is
You were
this?
to bring Ireena and your friends to the castle. But as you move further away, and now that you've picked up this item that I had very carefully hidden, I see that you are not fulfilling your side of the bargain. And so I am here to collect my bride.
I am not going anywhere, Strahd. Maybe I should do an intimidation again?
But what about the other night when I saw you and we spoke? We spoke of granting you power. That sounds like her, doesn't it, Hans? He looks at you, Hans, across the light, and you see his eyes blaze red. Make a wisdom save, please.
Oh, fuck.
What is happening?
Oh, cool. Cool. Oh, cool.
A mighty blood hunter of the Such and Such family would not be tricked by a traitor like her, would he, Hans?
No. I know a traitor when I see one.
That could go either way. I don't know which way that is going.
It's about a 4 is the way that it's going.
Oh dear.
You are very friendly towards Strahd. Your disposition has changed significantly. You see him as an ally.
I think we've been played for fools. This man has been guarding these people, has been looking after this. Look at the way that it is thriving. And all the while, this one, Mo, has been sneaking behind our backs, ready to put a knife in it, I bet.
That'd be ridiculous, Hans. I mean, you could be right, but I think we need some more evidence than just believing a vampire turns up in our midst.
I don't need
Right.
any more evidence.
He's being seduced by the gaze of the evil one, says Freak.
Oh yes, little boy.
As you watch,
Right here.
Strahd steps back into the shadow and then appears on the other side of the camp, behind you all.
I mean, it'd be more menacing without that noise,
Yeah,
but
that was more wine.
So,
Taxi!
You hear the sound of approaching hooves, and a flickering light begins to glow from the surrounding forest, and suddenly a tall, black, magnificent steed emerges, flames leaping up from its hooves and mane. The beast is a nightmare, a fiendish horse, its mane and hooves lit with flames, and it stops beside Strahd and lowers its head.
cool horse.
I have come. Yes, I know. I've come for my bride. Release her, and I will let you live.
No worries. I think it's a no-brainer.
Well, you did tell us you were engaged, Mo, but I mean,
I think he's talking about Ireena.
It's not talking about me.
Dumbass.
oh, well,
about her.
I've totally misread the room.
Me too, I forgot. I mean, this is not really passing a Bechdel test. The only women here being me and Louise, and we forget about the other one. It's all about a man, isn't it? It's always about a dude.
Down with the patriarchy. Would you like to have a conversation about something other than this vampire?
Right? Am I right?
Oui.
I can wait. I've been very patient. Please go ahead.
The other day,
Yeah.
I saw a fish. It was
Bloody
so
love
big.
fishes. Really? How big was it?
It was about this big, and
Amazing.
she gestures
Amazing.
about that big.
Yeah. Yeah.
As had scales, they were like
Have we
rainbows.
passed? I don't know. How do we know that we've passed?
Enough!
All right.
A man will tell you.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Fuck.
You will release Ireena,
Hans
or you will all die.
Hans starts walking over to Ireena and grabs her by her wrist and starts lifting her to her feet.
No, wait. When Ragyog throws himself at Hans, tackles him. You're not yourself, man. You're not yourself. Can I roll a grapple? Or a strength?
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Oh, damn. Not great. What am I adding to that? Just my strength? Or my proficiency as well?
Strength.
11.
I've got an AC of 14. Is it?
So strength, opposed strength, or an acrobatics. Oh, sorry, athletics.
Danny's got a smile on his face.
Oh, that's a 16 on the die. Plus acrobatics, you say? Athletics is
Athletics. Well,
doesn't really matter.
yeah, Hans easily palms aside Ragyog.
Yeah, just lift a hand out
So,
straight to his face.
so you, just give him the don't argue, and you lift Ireena to her feet. Ireena, how is Ireena feeling right now?
Please, I can't go with him. He'll kill me. I have to stay with you. Please protect me. I don't have your spells. I don't have anything. I don't have anything in the world.
I do not think she has a character sheet. We must protect her.
I need to stay.
He'll kill all of us.
Please don't let me go with him. Strahd, please. I've given you everything.
Not everything. You will be my eternal bride, Tatiana.
My life is ruined. Surely, I can just have it.
Now, hold on a minute, says Freak. Speaking as someone of the younger generation, I think that it's really some toxic masculinity right there. You've just spoken to her once and, maybe you had a conversation, maybe you agreed on something, I don't know, but it seems to be totally forward to expect to be able to take her away and marry her. It's like, it's totally not on, man.
In most lands, they ask, Strahd.
Yes, consent is an ongoing experience. You cannot just demand it whenever you want.
We have different traditions in Barovia. The
That
tradition
is a
here
stupid
is
tradition.
I am the Lord and Master, and I decide what is right and what is wrong.
He steps up and gets on his horse.
Hans starts
That's
dragging.
I
my
don't know
horse
the
you got
words,
there,
but-
Strahd.
Yes, it also flies.
Hans starts dragging
in
her
case you were
towards
wondering.
the horse.
You like a deal, don't you, Strahd? You love a wager?
Oh, Mo, the time for deals is well done.
You can't deal
And
with
as
the
he
devil anyway.
rides his nightmare forward towards Hans, who breaks from the group of you,
No.
dragging Ireena.
Freak dives at Hans and tries to slashes wildly with the sword to try and free Ireena from his grip.
Okay, roll to attack.
Oh boy. That is an 10. God damn.
So Freak swings the sword wildly, and as he does, Hans easily sidesteps the blow and pushes Ireena forwards. And as Ireena stumbles towards Strahd, astride his flaming horse, his nightmare, the sound of the lapping water fills her ears, and a rushing water sound begins to surround her. And as Strahd reaches down and grasps her by the top of her arm, a hot flush fills her neck and face and body. She feels hot, burning as fire erupts from deep within her heart, and everyone else standing back just sees an explosion of flame as a huge fireball rips from Ireena's body.
Oh, that's hot.
What?
Hot.
I guess I was going to action surge and make another attack, but I think it's too late for that.
I think so.
Oh, fuck.
The flame explodes outwards and pushes everyone backwards from Strahd. As your vision clears, you see Strahd astride his nightmare riding up into the sky, and the figure of Ireena laying on the ground in the campsite, smoldering. Her clothes lit by small fires, unconscious.
Wait, bro, take me with you. I'm sure you've got room on your horse for a good pal like me. Come on.
Ragyog leaps from the ground up onto Hans's chest and draws back his fist and just smashes it into Hans's nose. He goes, "You fucking idiot, Hans."
Is that a roll to attack or?
Oh, well, yeah, you... Oh, fuck. That is a 15.
That hits.
Hey.
Okay, unarmed is what, just a D4?
No, it's
Strength.
just 1 plus your strength modifier.
2 points.
Ow. Ow, my
You absolute
cheek.
and utter fool. You bloody fool. What have you done?
Ireena lies unconscious, her clothes smoldering, and there's a ring
wait.
of blackened
I
ground.
thought
around
Ireena was
you.
on the back of the horse. So I
No.
take that back, Hards, and I just I pat him on the nose gently and just retract myself and look guilty. Sorry,
as
DM.
you see Strahd ride off into the sky, you can see his beautifully tailored coat is also covered in spot fires. He has suffered some serious burns from Ireena's explosion, and is riding off into the sky.
So cool.
Can someone offer her medical aid?
Yeah. Mo just runs over and takes off her coat and just pats it over Ireena, sort of trying to douse the fires, trying to put them out, and it's just kind of assessing her. She doesn't have any spells to cast any healing, so she's just gonna
Do it the
comfort
old-fashioned
her
way.
the old-fashioned way. First aid. Dr.
Louise.
ABC is very important. Danger? Is there any danger? Yep. Response. Ireena, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ireena? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
She does not respond at all.
Louise walks over, placing the hammer and sickle back on her chest, and leans down to assess the situation. Can she do a heal check or whatever?
Yes, absolutely. She can do a
Medicine.
check.
Medicine.
A medicine check,
Yes.
yes. An appropriate 5th edition check, yes.
She gets a 4. Pretty sure
You
she's
see,
good.
there's nothing wrong with Ireena. She's just unconscious. You can't see any.
I think she is just unconscious.
No, I'm pretty sure she's quite banged up. That is a very treacherous vampire guy that you probably haven't met before, Louise. We'll fill you in another time. But Ireena, can you hear me? Can you hear
Out
me?
of my way, out of my way. Goblin cleric of Lathander coming through.
All right,
through. And Ragyog kneels down and casts Cure Wounds on Ireena.
That seems like a really nice cliffhanger to leave on for a little Patreon announcement. If you love the show, and I know you do because you're listening, then you can love it even further by jumping on patreon.com/dice paper roll. That's right, patreon.com/dice paper roll. You can get access to our Discord server. You can get a whole bunch of extra stuff. You won't know until you jump on and find out. Also, because I don't remember. But it's on the website. So if you look it up, you will be pleasantly surprised. And that's it. On with the show.
So Ireena lies unconscious on the ground. There's a burnt circle around her. The ground is scorched and small flames flicker around. The boats still rock on the lake nearby, and the mist that's around you seems to have burnt backwards. And you see the figure of Strahd on his horse ride away, and you hear in the distance, "This is not over."
That is some serious projection for a whisper.
I'm a ventriloquist also.
Is Hans still charmed?
Yes, for 24 hours.
Oh,
Oh, Christ.
cool. Cool. Good to know.
Cool.
Number one
Super
ticket holder in
cool.
the Strahd fan club over here.
Does Louise know that Hans is possessed or whatever, charmed?
It would be up to Louise to decipher from his, you got to think about how long she's known him.
Yeah,
And
she probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Should be.
I mean, I went pretty apeshit on him though.
Yeah.
Doesn't know you very long, mate.
She doesn't know who
Yeah.
Strahd is. There's a lot of context missing for her. She does nothing. She thinks it's normal. Does this landlubbers do some strange things, I guess?
Quickly, Ragyo, can you heal the bride? We need to get her away from here
Yes,
and back to the castle Zarovich.
I'm trying, traitor. And I
whoa.
I try to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, I'm not the
Yeah, you
traitor
cast-
here. Mo's the one that's been having conversations in the dark with the strange
Yes,
vampires,
yes.
okay?
Yes.
I'm trying to
It's
save
not
your
like
life
I wanted
here.
to have him. He was there. I was there. He's very persuasive, but he's
yes.
still a fucking asshole. All right. He's not. I mean, I don't know where you're going.
I don't
with
know.
this.
I saw he has a very cool horse, and so that's obviously plus points for him. Okay, I don't see anyone else here having a cool flaming
Well, it was
horse.
a pretty hot horse, to be perfectly
The
honest.
camera zooms in
Hans,
on.
I've said it before and I'll
Louise.
say it again. You were better as a fish. And I roll Cure Wounds. Get 12
as the
profit points.
healing energy swirls around Ireena,
Surely
and-
Louise is
and
offended by that,
absorbs,
She is.
absorbs into her skin. It settles in, but it doesn't have any real effect. So
Okay.
she's healthy. She's just
unconscious.
unconscious. And as it does, Louise standing on the side, the camera zooms into Louise.
and she casts Find Steed.
No one has a cool horse, huh? Is that
So,
right?
did someone mention a cool horse?
And then suddenly you all hear
Competitive.
approaching
Wow, cool.
It sounds like a lame horse to me.
the most incredible horse you've ever seen.
Wow.
The most beautiful. What color is it?
It's
Louise?
it's blue. It's a blue horse.
Incredible bluey green horse, green mane, blue.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Blue,
So,
green, blue,
Yes, and-
blue, green.
bluey,
Or
watery
purple,
horse,
watery horse, yes.
water horse, horse, not seahorse, but water horse
Yes.
approach. And it comes from the trees and stands as this magnificent war horse, and it whinnies.
This, my friends, is Curly, the horse.
Get fucked.
Oh, okay. I've heard of Curly. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the Curly?
Oh my god.
Yes, this is the Curly. I'm so pleased you have heard of him. He is
Who
a
hasn't
beautiful horse. Look at these hooves. Oh,
Curly the crab could not
Magnificent.
stop talking about Curly the horse. So, I mean, it's good to put a face to the name. It's
A long face, even though it is.
very good point, Freak. By the way, give me back my sword.
Never! You tried to give up Ireena to the Dark Lord, Freak says as he holds the sword out in front of him at arm's length, holding Hans at arm's length. His eyes widen as he stares him down and his arms are taut and he's ready to swing.
Okay.
You tried to give her up. You're working with him. You're in cahoots.
Oh, I'm not the one in cahoots. Mo's the one in cahoots. Have we all been listening at all? And by the way, you're a child. Is anyone really taking this boy seriously? He just stole my sword, and now everyone's going to take his word for rote.
Sonny speaks to the rest of the party.
Oh.
Hey, the boy is telling the truth.
What?
So I haven't introduced myself before, but I'm the sword. Hey, nice to meet you.
Did the sword,
sword.
just speak?
I know. Crazy times. Let's just move past that just for just one moment and just get on board because the kid.
So that's when
he's,
you were talking to yourself before, Hans. Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes so much more sense now.
Me and old mate Strahd, we go way back. And he's a bad dude, really, seriously bad dude. Trust me. He's a
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
bad
yeah.
dude.
I
You
am
didn't
aware.
have to convince
Yeah.
me of that. You might have to convince
I mean, you might have to
Hans.
fill in Louise a little bit. You know,
Anyway,
and that
I'm
other horse that-
currently, I'm currently using the kid as a bit of a proxy, and look, I've given him some ideas, and he knows, he's on board. So if you could, go
Wait.
with him on this.
But what's happened to Freak?
Oh, he's
Right.
fine. He's fine. He's back here. He's. In fact, I'm here. I'm in the back. No, that's just me doing his voice. But no, seriously. If he could talk in this thing, then he would say he's totally fine. Yeah, he's so cool. As soon as he lets go of the sword, he'll be fine. He'll be back to his old self. Yeah.
I'm just really torn with the idea of the sword. What's your name again, mate? What's your name?
I didn't introduce myself. Shouldn't I? Sonny. You may have heard of me, Sonny Bono. Sonny Bono.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, it's great. Staying with the child, which is not ideal, obviously, or going with the guy that.
Sorry,
I'm
I expected
pretty
a
sure
bigger
for
reaction
a-
to that. Sonny Bono. I'm a sword. You didn't want to.
You
Member
want-
of famous.
What do you want?
duo-
A medal?
Released disco
You are
hits,
metal.
String of.
I
top
mean,
50
I'm
numbers
really
before.
wishing we could turn back time about now, but
That was a Cher solo song, man. That hurts. That does. I'm not gonna get
That is a
Ah,
faux
man.
pas, mate.
Whew, that still cuts.
In all of the extravagance of Curly the horse arriving and Sonny the sword speaking, Hans is going to stealthily try and whisk away Ireena.
Okay, yeah. Can you give me the appropriate 5th edition skill check
Like a
for this
stealth?
situation? Stealth,
my
yes.
passive perception is 14.
How do I find out my passive perception?
Yeah, can you give me that with
bottom of your
disadvantage as
page,
well? You can't drag a body away without people noticing. You're gonna need disadvantage on that.
Yep, no worries.
Yes, please.
So that's a 10 on the dice. It's a 13 to stealthily try and drag the body away.
Okay. So as everyone's talking to
Just got it by a foot.
Sonny Bono, the sword, yeah. The sword as every time you talk, the sword like glows brighter. So it's like with the sound waves. So as it talks, it gets brighter and dimmer.
Yeah.
Nice. And everyone's pretty rapt talking to Freak and the sword. And as they do, Hans is in the background and he hooks his arms under Ireena's shoulders and just starts dragging her off towards the woods. So
What I was going to say is that maybe instead of giving it, the sword to the child, I mean, it's not ideal, but, I don't really want to give it to the guy who's number one, guy in his books is Strahd right now. And Mo turns and gestures with a huge open hand and palm to where Hans was standing. And he is now just a little bit further along with Ireena in his, and everyone clocks it immediately at once.
Everyone turns around and looks at Hans dragging Ireena towards the forest.
Hans's eyes go really wide, and then he makes that really tiny mouth, like a woo, and just like stares at everyone with the legs hooked in, and just like.
As he does, so he's dragged it right towards the edge of the woods, and the firelight sort of flickering, and the light from the sword is flickering and casting shadows again. And then from directly behind Hans, you hear. And that is where we're going to end today's game.
It's Giacomo, and he's like, I've had too much crab meat. I'm still alive.
It was his stomach. Definitely not
I'm just hungry.
hungry hippo in the woods.